Greetings, yogis. This is Derek with Denver Yoga Underground. As practitioners and as teachers, we're all familiar with alignment cues in yoga asana. It's the common currency in which most yoga classes present the practices, and teachers will describe lift here, step your right foot forward, lift your arms up overhead, all these common directions down into more refined and specific instructions. Tuck your tailbone as you lift your chest, or even competing instructions where they ask you to do two things that are seemingly opposite. And there's both an upside and a downside or other considerations that go along with that approach. Now, positively, what alignment cues can give us is a track, a way to focus our mind, particularly when we're given these kind of Rubik's Cube type of instructions where we're moving in a variety of different directions all at once. And oftentimes they compete with one another, the cues, the lift and the tuck, getting those things to match up just so, and it creates this kind of humming type of potential or experience. All that requires a tremendous amount of focus. So asana training can be like an inroad to mental discipline, and moreover just generally self-awareness. You know how you tick, and just more familiarity with your frames. And what's more, a lot of people have gotten like structural benefit, like my back no longer hurts, or that's a common one that I often hear. Indirectly, those cues can also interface or start to open your what's called your nadi system, or it's a more subtle, the meridian system of the body. Now, the other considerations I'd like to put on the table here and offer something else for us to reflect on is to not lose sight or to mistake the forest for the trees, right? To hold space for the larger objective or purpose of the yoga process, which ultimately is to be, fundamentally free, spiritually free, and as well as liberated mind space, as in other ways of describing that. In its native context, the asanas were presented less in anatomical terms. So tuck here and lift there. If you read the old books, they don't describe them that way. They describe them in terms of the energetics, right? So like what I was naming earlier, the nadis, for examples, or vayus, if you're familiar with that, or chakras, or doshas is another example of how of the native lens of the yoga process. And held in that light, right? If you view the pose through more of those, classic perspective, it will shape your relationship to the pose and your psyche and your energetics in ways that you don't typically or couldn't really access through a strictly anatomical lens, right? It's going to allow you to see things and relate to things and feel things that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. And I want to offer this other dimension or exploration to hold the asana in more of a meditative or energetic kind of hold or fold. So wish you peace and success and continued blossoming of your yoga practice. Be well. Thank you, all my commenting, subscribing, liking friends. Be well and have a blessed journey. Peace.